As promised in yesterday's episode, we are going to do a part 2 because I think we were just scratching the surface, call back to the Hyperconscious podcast days in yesterday's episode, because I would like to self-diagnose to see whether or not the way I operate is even good for success.
On one hand, you jump in and hope you can swim, little reckless. On the other hand, you practice swimming more and more and more over time and then trust that you can swim long term.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2271, the 2 types of growth, part 2. I don't know if we've ever had 2 twos in the title before, but today we do. We have 4 in the title. All right. Excuse me.
We had 2,222 at one point.
No, I said.
Did we?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're at 2,271. We must have.
Yeah. So that means we had 4 twos, remember?
I'm saying like in the title, like not the number portion, the title portion.
Oh.
2 types of growth, part 2. You know what I mean?
All of that
is useless to you, whether you're watching or listening, and we do appreciate you and we value your time, so we're going to get into the good stuff right now. Mm-hmm. Why is my way terrible? And go. Is it?
I'm not convinced it is.
Were you ever convinced it was?
I would say it's suboptimal.
Your way's more optimal?
Yes, definitely.
For you or for everybody?
For everyone.
Okay, now sell me.
Theory versus practice. In theory, all of us could proactively improve our awareness, our skills, our emotional maturity, our ability to handle uncertainty. In an ideal world, in theory, we would always be more capable than required. However, I know there's a concept called hormesis in science where they say that a little bit of a bad thing is actually good for you. And so I don't think it's possible in practice to always be ready. I have Emilia and I have talked a lot about how we want to start a family and all this stuff. We have several clients that have kids. One couple I'm thinking of has a child. I think she's 5. And he said, no matter what you do, you're never going to be ready. And I said, yes. And you can get ready too.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's the and I do believe it's both. I think yours, if you just jump and hope the net appears, I think that's dumb. But I also think you need to sometimes jump and hope the net appears. So it's a duality.
I don't know if okay, fair. And I don't know if I've hoped the net appears. I think I create it. At times. The year, so we were talking about how terrible my life used to be. Alan loves getting a good giggle out of that. We were talking about how the year my ex, I got broken up with and my ex left and my bills doubled, was the year I made the most money I'd ever made. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But I remember my boss called me one day and he's like, hey, work's really slow. Are you looking for hours? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he said, okay, we just need somebody to drive a job bid to New Jersey. So like you'll just drive, stay the night, and then come back. And I was like, okay, cool. And I think it was like $15 an hour or something. I was like, yeah, I'm in, done. Yeah, awesome. Make a little Skrilla.
Listening to personal development the entire time?
No, I was jamming for sure. So that was something. And then I've never told you this. I don't even know if you know. This is one of my other side jobs I used to have. The person who left me, my ex-girlfriend at the time, connected me with a guy who did tiling. And first day, she connected me with him. I went and met him, loved him. Guy was awesome. Super cool dude. Really good at his job. Really freaking good.
Yeah.
First day, I'm just crawling around on my hands and my knees all day, just like trying to remove tile. It was terrible. My goodness. And then we went to Five Guys, and this was the first time I'd ever been to Five Guys. And I was like, yeah, I'll get 2 doubles and 2 fries. Terrible. And then go back to work. Terrible. Terrible idea. I felt terrible. But
Kev,
I was working.
Oh, reckless, man.
I was working my job traveling, and then on some...
wait. Real quick.
Yeah.
That's like 3,000
Oh, yeah.
calories.
So many calories.
It's like 3,000 calories for lunch. For lunch.
First time I ever had it. Didn't
And
know
then
that they were massive.
You went back to work?
Then we went back to work. Also, Five Guys gives you a large, and then they just like, we'll fill the bag up too. I'm going to fill the bag up too for you. Didn't know. Great guy. Shout out to John. Wow. So at that time, I was traveling almost every week for work. And then I also, some weekends, was doing tiling on the weekends to make enough money.
Nice.
So I don't know. I think you have to be resourceful. If you're on my end, you have to be extremely resourceful, for sure. And and again, you can't say this because it doesn't work, but you have to be like extremely humble with opportunities.
Yeah, that.
Because you don't choose them.
Yeah, you can't jump, hope the net appears, create the net, and then be like, the net's not going to be better. Today. That's the thing. I think that's the downside, is there's no guarantee that the net's going to be better. Oh, that's well played, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably, except in my case, it usually somehow was. The
reason why your way would be suboptimal is if someone's entitled.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you were like, hey, I'm out, and then I don't work for any less than X, and I need to be home by 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have all these. This is an interesting conversation. I didn't expect to go this way, but the more stringent you are with what you do and don't do to earn money, the less likely you earn money.
Especially if you're jumping.
Yeah.
There's so many, like, dude.
100%. Dog walking.
Yeah.
Ubering. Delivery driver. I mean, there's opportunity. There's opportunity all around you.
Good.
And I think that, and I don't know if I didn't really stay in corporate long enough to reach my sort of ceiling, but I know that some clients in the past have understood what it was like to be trapped. Let me explain. They'd be in corporate and they'd be 10 years into their career. And during good times, companies need to compete for you. So let me explain this as simply as possible. There's something called an employer's market versus an employee's market. An employee's market means there aren't enough people, and there's so much opportunity, and companies need people. Like right now, I think plumbers. It's like there's not enough fucking plumbers in Massachusetts, apparently. Right? So that's why they can charge so much. Someone wanted to do the studio for Emilia and I, the Conscious Couples studio, he quoted like $900. I was like, I'll do it myself. And then an entire Sunday later, I was like, I probably should have done the $900. But I remember thinking, no, hell no. And I coached a handyman too. And he's like, yeah, there's just not enough people willing to do that work anymore. So blue collar, you mentioned blue collar workers were like, back in millennial generation, back when we were in high school, blue collar was like not cool, or quote unquote, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think people respected it.
It's pretty cool now. There's a lot of people that are making a ton of money in trades. And that's good. That's awesome. I think, we talk about the work ethic that's great. But back to the point of this, if your capabilities are not improving and the economy's growing and you get pay raise, you might get fired because you're too expensive when the economy tanks. That's why layoffs happen, because the economy goes down and the company that was doing well for the last 8 years is all of a sudden like, we overpaid everybody.
Yeah, you got to cut costs.
And that's the expansion. What is it? Expansion, contraction. The economy is constantly doing that. But for people who aren't re-upping their skills and they're not really growing and they're not improving a ton. Emilia worked for a corporate company, a pharmaceutical company, for a long time. It was 2 or 3 years. And she managed $84 million worth of a budget. And I remember being like, that's awesome. And we talked about it. And I undid the whole structure of the company for. It was really cool. And their cost, luckily I'm keeping this anonymous because this company, I couldn't believe how bad their compensation plan was. It was insane how complicated it was. And for anyone in corporate, by the way, you're going to resonate with this. They keep that shit complex on purpose. Well, I get this bonus at this percentage if this, and this. So never. It's so complex. She's like, well, what are my KPIs? What do I do? Like, how do I earn more? And we went through it. It was the most convoluted thing ever. And it's like, you got to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this thing out,
well,
right?
They do it, like you
and
said, they do it on purpose.
I said, what'd you say?
They do it on purpose.
Oh, I can't stand that, dude. That's so messed up. And if you want your people to actually work harder, you should have a clear plan that helps them do better. Clarity and profit sharing, all that stuff. But I digress. Emilia was constantly retooling. When you do that, you're basically guaranteeing that everyone wants you in the future. Last piece. The problem with Kevin's approach is that he's skating to where the puck is. If you want to be a leader and you want to be successful in the future, you have to skate to where the puck is going to be.
Mic drop. That's it.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
So I'm thinking about, remember when I took a leadership course?
Mm-hmm.
I just know that's the future. Like, leadership is the hardest skill. Nobody's good at it.
But you know the future. That's the difference. To a degree.
I don't know the future.
I
would say I anticipate it based on the past and the present. Yeah. But if you study the past and the present, you can anticipate the future. No one's going to be shocked that they get in a car accident when they drive drunk. It's that same idea, but...
Yeah, but in order to skate to where the puck is going to be, you have to know where the puck is going to be. I never knew where the puck was going to be.
But that's because, in my opinion, and again, I mean this with love, you didn't think enough. Like, you need to spend a lot more of your time thinking.
I don't know if I knew what to study. Nobody just starts learning economics. Who? Who am I going to ask?
Me.
Well, I didn't talk to you at that time.
Okay.
Nobody just learns economics for fuck's sake.
I do. I have it right here.
You're weird, but it's
Basic economics. This is the most boring book ever written.
But that's for a reason. That's because that's what you must learn in order to get your goals.
Yeah, if you don't know economics, you're not going to be as economical.
No, but that's not the point. The point, you know what you have to learn in order to get what you want.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
I don't think I ever did. I don't think most people do. Okay. That's why when somebody comes to you and says, I want X result, and you say, cool, awesome, good for you, love it, and this is how you do it, they go, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, so you decided on a goal based on the goal, not what the process of the goal was going to, that. Okay. Most people are on my end. Shout out to you if you're on my end. And don't get trapped.
Yeah, don't get trapped because...
Don't get trapped.
Okay, cool. Theory and practice. We talked about this earlier. Theory is studying. Practice is doing.
Yeah.
And I told you this, the two most important things. I was coaching Kev behind the scenes, and I said the two most important things I look at when I'm trying to help someone be more successful is what are they paying attention to and what are they doing? Because I was on with a client earlier. Shout out to you. I know you'll recognize yourself in this conversation. I drew out this whole configuration of the mind and the body and the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, subconscious, unconscious, conscious mind. The subconscious and unconscious, anyone can look this up, is 200,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. I used to say 40,000. It's been updated in neuroscience. They were wrong. Go figure. 83 billion neurons. Your subconscious and unconscious are way more powerful. So it's a supercomputer that none of us use well, and we certainly don't update it well. And I was talking to him about when you come on, I'm trying to figure out where you're off. So you say, I want to achieve X, and I go, okay, here's what he's paying attention to, aka tracking, and here's what he's doing. And in between that is what he believes and thinks and feels. And I'm going, okay, we have to change what you pay attention to for sure. because that's fucking useless, right? And then what you're doing is off. You're wrong. You're off. You're inaccurate. You're taking a right turn when you need to take a goddamn left. So if I update his software, aka his belief systems about himself, others, and the world, he'll start paying attention to the right things and doing the right things. And you can do that with anyone. Like, there's no person on planet Earth who can't be more successful than they are right now if they just reprogram themselves. Like, I'm reprogramming myself every goddamn day. And the truth is, you just weren't. One of the reasons books are so valuable and TED Talks are so valuable is because you just get deeper understanding and then you reprogram yourself and then you go, oh, I used to be dumb. Now I'm not. Let me do better. And obviously dumb is a bad word, but like, you are now more intelligent than you used to be. And this is the last piece of this, but if I could make Kevin useless, hypothetically, if I just took away all his knowledge and all his experiences and all his reflections, like, you'd be useless. If I took away all of your experiences,
That's fair.
all of your knowledge, and all of your brain, you'd be useless. You wouldn't be a business owner. You wouldn't know how to lift weights. You wouldn't know anything. You'd just be a blob like we all were at 2 years old.
You could throw me at things.
Yeah.
I mean, you find a use if you're resourceful enough. But no, it's all.
I think that's why it's like, it's so hard to, like, that's what matters is, like, take away all your knowledge. You don't know yourself at all. You don't know others. You don't know the world. You don't know economics. You don't know business. You don't know profitability, passion, purpose. You know nothing we've talked about. You're now immediately stuck. You're stuck. Now what do you do? Ask ChatGPT. Good fucking luck. It's gonna take you years.
You
of
take
research.
what you can get. Yeah, that's what you do. You take what you can get. That's what happens. That's what I think. That's another piece of getting stuck. And that was me for most of my life, for sure. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I always landed somewhere. I'm not saying landing there was great. I'm not saying it was better. I'm not saying it was by design. I'm not saying it was constructive. I'm not saying it was good for long term. I think in my mind, if I don't know what it's going to take, sometimes just like seeing the reality of it is better to understand what it's going to take. And then you can decide whether or not you want to do it. It's like, oh shit, I regret this. I shouldn't have done that. Unfortunately,
what about the things you can't take back? Like, you and I have talked in depth in the past about how careful we were to not become fathers, right? Mm-hmm. And I think with stuff like that, you have to be really 100% careful.
But I'm not talking about that because I'm on that end anyway. I think I'm talking more about like just opportunities. You know? Like, I'm an accidental...
Are you saying throw shit against the wall, see what sticks type of thing?
I'm saying...
Because I'm with you as long as you're throwing less and less shit over time.
And more optimal.
Yes.
Like, we had a conversation right before this, and I was like, hey, just, I'm throwing some very educated shit at the wall right now.
Nice.
And it's going to be fine.
Perfect. Love it.
It's a little loosey-goosey right now.
Yeah. Compared to what, though? Not compared to the past.
But...
way less reckless.
100%. And that's based on me taking a shot at something I don't know if I can do. And learning on the job.
How certain are you can do it? You don't currently know how to do it, but you know you can learn to do it, which I think is what belief is built on, self-efficacy.
But I think that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying in this style of growth is you try something, you realize it's different than I thought. This is different than I thought. Always. And then you are resourceful enough to go learn how to sustain it. And then that ends up happening again, except you're less off. And then you rinse and repeat that. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to your end where it's like, yes, so much of what I have is based on the goal that I'll never actually accomplish. Like, so it's just,
Yeah.
But I didn't decide that. That was based on you.
Okay. When I talked about in part 1, I talked about the anonymous client who had a $10 million net worth goal. Mm-hmm. And I said, brother, there's no way you don't hit that. You'd have to start screwing up right now. Let's up the ante so that you have to grow. And he's not just going to hoard $100 million. What I mean is he's going to invest in the economy and he's going to have more tenants. And it's not like a bad thing. I think people think that as greedy. No, it's actually good for the world to do that. If you're integrous and like if he had an alcohol company, it wouldn't be good for the world. If he had a cigarette company, it wouldn't be good for the world. But like there is, people don't think, that sounds bad. We don't think enough about, okay, this landlord is providing me an opportunity to live here that I wouldn't have had without the landlord. People hate their landlords. It's like, wait, he or she is like the only reason you have a nice place. They had to like take the risk and build it.
They took the risk.
They took all the risk.
So you don't have to take as much of a risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But I don't know if that's like the first thought typically, right?
I don't think it is, yeah.
I hope that we can shift that because we talked a lot about conscious capitalism and conscientious business ownership. And you and me, I think, are very conscientious about the decisions we make in business, about how it affects the team and how it affects us and how it affects the world and the earth. Like, I want it to be a win-win-win-win-win. Like, if it's not a win for the listener and for us and for the team and for the world and for the earth, like, I'm not interested. But back to the client, when we 10x'd his long-term goal, in theory, you can do the same thing. And that would be benefit you in the long term, even though in the short term, your life would get harder.
That was based on the fact that you went and said, like, you're good. You don't have to change anything. You'll get your goal. You're good. You're done. You're good. I'm telling you, you can't do it without awareness. I don't believe that. Because if not, he would have gotten to that, and then he could have reshot.
He would have gotten to that around 44, I think.
And then he could choose, right? Does he want to reshoot it? Or is that good if things change, whatever? I don't know if you can do it without awareness.
Maybe not 44. What is he, 38? Definitely by 54. Yeah, 54, maybe 64.
I think you need an input. You need some level of input.
Yeah, but I knew where the hockey puck was going to be.
Yes.
And then I could change where it was going to be based on the inputs. It's all reverse engineering.
Almost at all times, you're either over or under.
Agreed. Including me. Percent error.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly. Look at me right there. I'm like, wait, not 44, 54. Probably.
But not just in that.
44 would be the best case scenario. 54 would be most likely. And then worst case scenario would be 64 for him to hit that net worth goal.
But not just in that, though. You think it's going to be easier, not you, the collective you. You think it's going to be easier than it is, or it's going to be harder than it is? You think it's going to happen faster than it does, or it's going to take longer than it does?
Agreed. Always.
I think when I get reality, it just helps me. It's like, shit, this is going to be harder than I thought. Or
how's that any different than what anyone does, though? That's what I do, too. The only difference between you and me is I have an end state way in the future that I'm failing forward towards.
I feel like so many of the things I've learned have been in pockets of necessity. When I think what you've learned is in a giant...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A giant cauldron of necessity.
I would say probably 70% of what I've learned is out of curiosity that was proactive, and probably 30% out of sheer painful necessity of how the fuck did I get myself into this?
That I think
maybe 80-20.
Okay, this is the difference. You would get so good at guitar that you could naturally play any song. I would learn songs as I went. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I watched somebody play the guitar the other day and I was like, how do you know how to play all this? Because they're world class. They've
probably been playing guitar for 15 years.
And they understand guitar at a deeper level.
Yep, exactly.
Where I know this string does this, and if I do this, I can play Swing Life Away by Rise Against. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. No, God no. I used to be able to do the beginning. I could do that, but
yeah.
Limiting belief, fat fingers. Very inflexible wrists. And my arms are literally incredibly short.
Brother.
I know. Limiting beliefs. I said it before I said it.
Okay. Give yourself a decade for any skill, you can become world class. You can. Assuming you have at least a baseline level of capabilities in that thing.
My thought for this is...
You're not going to be world class in basketball, no matter how hard you try, if that makes sense. Right? Even if you give it a decade, you're not going to be in the NBA. That's my point.
No. Yeah. But you could be world class compared to where you are.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, there is a ceiling. there is a ceiling.
Well, there is no upper limit to improvement in humans. However, if someone else is also improving and happens to be 6'7",
right? They gotta one up.
There's a ceiling when it comes to that, because they will absolutely dunk on you and stuff every shot you take.
Have to hit half courts only. My thesis in this is simple. Figure out which end of this you're on, and then just try to be more optimal. My decision making is way better than it's been, for sure. And now I can predict a little bit better. It's still not wired that way. But yeah, just understand the detriments and the benefits of both sides. That's my takeaway.
Okay, mine is when you understand why things are the way they are and how they work, now you are the master of the outcome. And it's this weird duality of you start out not knowing anything about the thing, and you're naive and ignorant, and then you move a little bit forward, a little bit forward, a little bit forward, you fail forward, and then you reflect and contemplate, and then you learn. Like, it's one of the things that's really hard about teaching leadership and business and all that stuff. A lot of this stuff we unconsciously and subconsciously have learned through massive pain and failure over time that you can't just give in a podcast episode. But some of it you definitely can, and it's better than not studying at all, in which case we're trying to give you a little nugget, a little takeaway, a little breakthrough, a little aha moment, a little something every day, and it will compound. And you'll forget what it's like to not know a thing about that. I can't believe in my 20s I didn't understand the 7 habits of highly effective people and the compound effect and all these things. And I understood some of the math principles. But at the end of the day, there's so much value in learning every single day and then taking action and then contemplating after the fact.
Speaking of learning every single day, tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, if you're listening to this on Thursday, is Alan's Masterclass. What is it? 5 somethings about something?
The 5 fundamental business understandings that you must have to be successful long term. This is not get rich quick. This is not build a business in 90 days. This is how to set up the fundamentals long term that actually work if you stick with it.
Okay, so we'll have the link in the show notes for that. And then also shout out to everybody who has donated / is planning on donating to the Next Level Hope Foundation. We are about halfway to our goal. We appreciate it. The kids appreciate it. The families appreciate it. So thank you so very much. We will also have that link below. If you feel so inclined to donate, it would mean the world to us. We appreciate you. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we will be here every single day to help you get there.
Keep leveling up day by day to your true potential. Next Level Nation.